Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
This program is suitable for general viewing.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It is a beautiful Friday morning. Thank you for staying with us here on Horizon TV. This is the Muslim Insight, the show that brings you your weekly news recap as well as a review of today's Friday Bulletin. My name is Nadia Osman and my sign language interpreter for today is Mariam Jamaluddin. Now, before we give you the top story, first let's give you the headlines. Mufti Menk in Kenya. Renowned Muslim scholar Mufti Menk to deliver Friday's sermon at Jamia Mosque, Nairobi during his 3-day visit in the country.
Hii maziwa tunapeana kwa vile tunataka mulete watoto waleteni watoto wote shuleni.
Free milk in school. School-going children in Fafi constituency to enjoy free milk to boost school enrollment in the area.
The legal leadership of Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims is the team that is led by Hassan Al-Nader based on the process of the constitution of the organization.
Wrangles in Supkem. Supkem Garissa branch leaders accuse Registrar of Societies of causing leadership wrangles within Supkem. Now, on our top story, religious leaders drawn from Muslim and Christians have signed a petition against attempts to legalize the lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, also known as LGBTQ in the country. The leaders warned that there are plans to sneak LGBTQ content into the Kenyan curriculum. They have called leaders in Parliament to fast-track the discussion and passage of the Family Protection Bill sponsored by Homa Bay Town Constituency Member of Parliament Peter Kaluma, the Kaluma Bill.
The Constitution of Kenya 2010 reposes all sovereign authority in the people of Kenya. 2. Article 119 of the Constitution of Kenya grants any citizen or group the right to petition Parliament to consider any matter within its authority, including to enact, amend, or repeal any legislation. 3. In the past 10 years, we have witnessed persistent, well-choreographed, and well-financed attempts by persons identifying themselves as representing LGBTQ to have laws prohibiting homosexuality and other natural acts overturned or declared unconstitutional. They have filed numerous court cases and petitions in our courts. This has not only been witnessed in Kenya, but in many other African countries. 4. The common thread through all these attempts throughout the world has been their claim that there is discrimination on the basis of sexual orientation and gender identity, which is not recognized in Kenya and in Africa. We request, therefore, after we have made inquiries into the foregoing issues, that Parliament ensure, pursuant to Standing Order 25A and 40, and in exercise of its oversight role, that Cabinet Secretaries of Education, of Health, of Foreign Affairs, and of Labor and Social Protection, and also the Inspector General of Police confirm the measures they are taking relating to the sneaking of the LGBTQ agenda into Kenya and the international curriculum offered in Kenya, relating to the Ministry of Health's position on the definition of sexual health and rights, relating to the proliferation of foreign actor funding and lobbying on LGBTQ matters in Kenya, relating to the Ministry of Labor and Social Protection's plans to safeguard the family from such corrosive influences, through the Department of Social Protection and Family, relating to enforcement of the Penal Code provisions, including Section 162, 163, and 165 of the Penal Code that prohibit homosexual conduct in Kenya.
Thank you for that. Now, renowned Muslim scholar and motivational speaker Sheikh Ismail bin Musa Mwale, famously known as Mufti Menk, is in the country for a 3-day visit. Today, Mufti Menk is expected to deliver the Friday khutbah at Jamia Mosque in Nairobi. He will deliver lectures at various mosques within the country. Now, on Saturday, February 3rd, Mufti Menk is scheduled to be at Masjid Al-Huda before Dhuhr prayers, and after Maghrib, he will deliver another lecture at Masjid Rahma in Halingam. Concluding his visit on Sunday, February 4th, during Dhuhr, he will give a lecture at Adams Masjid along Gong Road. Mufti Menk currently serves in the Zimbabwe Council of Islamic Scholars, Majlis Ulama Zimbabwe, focusing on the educational needs of Zimbabwe's Muslim population. One of the renowned Muslim scholars will be live on Horizon TV on the 2nd of February 2024. Mufti Ismail Menk will be hosted by our very own Sheikh Jamaluddin Osman at 12:05 p.m. to discuss family relations. Send in your burning questions on family issues via WhatsApp on 0798 974 747. And that is not all. He will be the Khatib of the day live from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi from 12:30 p.m. Get all these exclusively on Horizon TV, streaming live on all free-to-air platforms, Zuku, Azam, Star Times, and get us live on YouTube, Facebook, and TikTok. Stay tuned on Horizon TV, beacon for the nation. I'm very excited for his visit. Now, moving on, the Fafi constituency member of Parliament, Saleh Yaqub, has launched a milk program for school-going children to boost school enrollment in the area. Over 4,000 primary and junior secondary school children in all 28 primary schools in the constituency will benefit from 2 packets of 200 ml milk a day for the 5 school days of the week.
The program comes barely a week after the MP launched a zero-fees program for secondary schools to ensure 100% transition and also ensure that no student will fail to go to school for lack of school fees.
Hii maziwa tunapeana kwa vile tunataka mulete watoto, waleteni watoto wote shuleni. Kwa nini tunaleta watoto shule? Si kusoma peke yake. Rasilimali ya Kenya inatengwa kulingana na idadi.
Speaking during the event held at Kamude Primary School, Yaqub urged the government to adapt a similar program for all primary schools, which will not only improve school enrollment, but also improve the health of the children.
Walimu tunapata hapa tunapewa kwa kulingana na idadi ya watoto mko naye hapa. Kama mko na watoto 20 Kamude, wanasema 100 kids, 1 teacher.
Bura East Deputy County Commissioner Thomas Bett warned the teachers and the Board of Management against selling or diverting the milk meant for children elsewhere, warning that action will be taken against any culprit found.
Muko na jukumu kuhakikisha kwamba maziwa inanywiwa na watoto. Tuko pamoja? Maziwa inanywiwa na watoto. Tusipate maziwa kwamba inazurura kule kijijini. Wakunywe shuleni. Isitoke nje ya shule. Usalama wake pia shuleni, hiyo ni kazi ya chief na board of management ya hiyo shule. Tuhakikishe kwamba inalindwa, kwa sababu mara nyingi tumeona matatizo ambayo unapata wengine wamevunja shule, sijui wameiba sola, sijui wameiba battery ya sola. Tuache mambo kama hayo. Hii ni haya maziwa haya na vitu vingine ambavyo vimewekwa shule ni ya manufaa yetu.
And thank you for that report. Now, the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims branch in Garissa has accused the Registrar of Societies of fueling leadership wrangles of SUPKEM's top position. In a letter released by the Registrar of Societies dated January 23rd, 2024. The letter indicates that Yusuf Abdurrahman Zibo is SUPKEM's chairman as per the 2017 records. However, the council says that Zibo was ousted by the National Governing Council in 2017 and moved to court to challenge the decision, where the case was dismissed, and the registrar confirmed the team led by Olenado as the correct leaders of SUPKEM through a letter referred SOC/10/997.
The religious leaders further argue that in September last year, the registrar changed the names of leaders back to the old ones, forcing SUPKEM to go to court to challenge the decision, and a court order was issued barring the registrar from interfering with the leadership of the organizations.
Legal leadership of Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims is the team that is led by Hassan Olenado based on the process of the constitution of the organization. The National Governing Council is responsible for the decision of the organization. With reference to the above, in 2017, SUPKEM NGC suspended the chairman, Yusuf Zibo. Mr. Yusuf Zibo went to court to challenge the decision of NGC. Since Mr. Yusuf Zibo went to the court, the Registrar of Society declines to update the changes in the leadership as approved by the NGC, where Hassan Olenado was confirmed as the chairman, citing the court case.
The leaders in Garissa County, led by the Deputy Organizing Secretary Digo Imamrita, reiterated their support for their current chairman Olenado, who they say is the non-SUPKEM chairman.
The dispute in the management of faith-based organization has to be done professionally. But in many occasions, the current Registrar of Society has handled the dispute unprofessionally. The lack of accountability by the Registrar Society has led to the emerging of religious fanatics such as the ones in Shakahola.
The team now is calling on the Attorney General Justin Muturi to intervene and rein in the Register of Societies to prevent further dispute within organization. The leadership wrangle between two functions of the SUPKEM Council of Kenya Muslim SUPKEM has intensified, with one function led by Dr. Yusuf Zibo gave an ultimatum for the removal of the current chairman Alhaji Olenado, who they claim is in office illegally. Reporting for Muslim Insight, my name is Abdurrahman Gaddafi Yassin.
Thank you for that report, Gaddafi. Now, at least 4,000 students who were selected to join Form 1 in the northeastern region are yet to report for admission, with area officials raising concerns on their whereabouts. According to data by the Northeastern Regional Director for Education, Aden Roble, out of the 26,926 students selected to join secondary schools in the region, only 22,462 students have joined Form 1. The Ministry of Education data shows that over 130,000 boys and girls from across the country are yet to transition from primary to secondary school. Now, the ministry placed 1.39 million children in secondary schools. 91% of these have reported to the schools.
The Ministry of Education report shows that while children have reported to either secondary school or joint tertiary institutions, 131,854 children have not reported to school. Garissa County is one of the most affected counties, where only 6,491 students out of the 10,120 have reported to secondary school, leaving over 4,000 students who are yet to report.
The schools opened the other day that Form 1s joined Form 1 last week. Those who were in grade 6 transitioned to grade 7 last week. And according to the statistics and figures that we have, it is disheartening that the percentage of those who have joined Form 1, from class 8 to Form 1, in this region stands at Today, as we speak, it has moved to 83.41%.
In Wajir County, only 99 students are yet to report to Form 1, while in Mandera, 13 students have joined vocational colleges and only 168 are yet to join Form 1.
These figures, if translated in terms of students who have not joined Form 1, it is a big number who have not joined Form 1. Those who are moving to grade 7, the region stands at 69.6%. 69.6%. This means, therefore, a big number of our pupils have not gone to school.
Transition from primary to junior secondary schools in the region is at 83.4%, with Mandera leading with 99.5%, Wajir at 90%, while Garissa is trailing at only 64%.
Population ya watoto shule ni very small, kidogo sana. Lakini kwa kijiji wako wengi sana. And you see now, I don't know why now these parents are not taking the children to school. Kuna hii mambo ya duksi. Lakini duksi, watoto wanaweza soma duksi pamoja na shule. They can integrate. Hata sisi tulisoma duksi na tumesoma shule.
Northeastern Regional Commissioner John Otieno has called on county commissioners, deputy county commissioners, assistant county commissioners, chiefs and their assistants in Garissa County to save the situation and make sure that the students report to school.
We are going to start or launch a mop-up exercise to make sure that all the students, all the pupils who are still at home go to school. We cannot have a situation where over 40% of those who are supposed to be in grade 7 are still at home. About close to 18% in the region of those who are supposed to be in Form 1 are still at home.
The government has insisted on pushing for a 100% transition rate, but this has failed to materialize this year, with only 91% of the target being achieved. Some 3,128 boys and 2,595 girls have joined vocational training institutes this year.
Thank you for that. Now, Mama Beauty Foundation, through its Punguza Zina campaign, will hold its 5th annual mass wedding, which will see over 50 couples tie the knot. The mass wedding is scheduled for 2nd March 2024 at Alindia Visram High School Hall in Mombasa. Mama Beauty Foundation, in partnership with the Kadhi office in Mombasa, will see the couples receive a marriage certificate, gifts and a walima for those in attendance. Speaking to the Muslim Insight in Mombasa, Lubna Nasir, the director of the Mama Beauty Foundation, called on Muslim organizations and the leaders to come forward in support of the initiative to encourage young people in the community to marry in order to protect their chastity.
Kama kawaida yetu, kila mwaka inapokaribia mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhan, huwa tuko na mass wedding ambayo huwa tunahalalisha ndoa takriban 50 ama zaidi. Na mwaka huu inshallah biidhnillah, kwa uwezo wa Mwenyezi Mungu, hii mass wedding itafanyika tarehe 2 mwezi wa 3 2024 katika ukumbi wa Alidina Virsam School. Pale kuna hall, ndo shughuli itafanyika pale. Kama kawaida yetu, huwa ifikapo mwezi mtukufu wa Ramadhani, wiki moja ama wiki 2 kabla, ndo huwa tunafanya hii shughuli ya mass wedding. Kwa jina tunaita Punguza Zina campaign. Sana sana huwa tunawalenga wale watu ambao huwa wamekaa come and stay, ambao hawajahalalisha ndoa zao. Lakini kwa wale pia ambao wako tayari, pengine wako tayari kufunga ndoa na wangependa kujiunga kwenye hii mass wedding, pia tunawakaribisha. Na alhamdulillah, mpaka hivi sasa hii ni harusi yetu ya 5. Yani tulianza 2018 kimzahamzaha tu, lakini alhamdulillah baada ya 2018 kila mwaka unaofuatilia huwa tunafanya harusi ya watu 50. Na mara hii pia tumeweka hiyo target ya 50, lakini naona huenda ile namba ikapanda juu ikawa 50+. Kwa hivyo tunaomba wahisani wote wale ambao watakao kuguswa na jambo kama hili, ili waweze kutushika mkono tuweze kulifanikisha hili jambo kwa kheri, na pia itakuwa ni jambo la kumridhisha Mwenyezi Mungu na kumfurahisha Mwenyezi Mungu.
Beautiful initiative. Now moving on, Muslim leaders in Uasin Gishu County have lamented the recent court ruling that ordered the Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chief Executive Officer Marwan Hussein Marjan to gazette new members of County Assembly within 14 days after the Court of Appeal blocked 9 United Democratic Alliance Party nominated MCAs in Uasin Gishu County. Among those affected is Sara Abdi from the Somali community, who became the first Somali nominated member of the County Assembly in Uasin Gishu County.
Leo tunasikia habari kwamba wameondolewa pamoja yeye na timu wake, na hakuna representative ya Waislamu amewekwa badala yake. Kwa hivyo hilo ni jambo ambalo linatuhuzunisha. Sisi tunataka kufikisha huzuni yetu na ombi letu kwa serikali yetu. Tafadhali tunaomba Waislamu wawe considered na ile slot ambayo Waislamu wamepewa irudishwe. Kwa sababu hiyo ndio kwa manufaa ya Waislamu, representation ya Waislamu hapa county ya Uasin Gishu.
Itakuwaje leo iwe huyu ataachwa nyuma na kazi aliyoifanya, si kwa sababu anahurumiwa kupewa, bali anastahiki kupewa kulingana na kazi aliyoifanyia chama cha UDA. Sasa kwa sababu uamuzi wa mahakama hatuna njia ya kuupinga, na serikali ni pana, atafutiwe nafasi kivyo vyote awe ni mwakilishi ya Waislamu katika Uasin Gishu County. Tulitarajia tupewe angalau nafasi 3, 4, 5, lakini hata hii moja ananyang'anywa. Hili ni jambo ambalo kwamba kama Waislamu hatutonyamaza.
The Muslims are one of the highest payers in the taxation in the Municipal Council of Eldoret. We pay the County of Eldoret a lot of taxes. I think we are number 1. If you are not number 1, we are number 2 in taxes we pay. So if we are doing all that, it is wrong to remove somebody.
Atupe hiyo nafasi tulikuwa naye, tupate haki ya mayatima, haki ya wajane, haki ya wale wasiojiweza.
Worked hard for my community to get a space. What is going to happen to the young Muslim who I promise that you have a say and you will get your position one day, one time in Uasin Gishu? Yeah? Go to Kisii. There are Muslims everywhere. Why only here? Why didn't they if they wanted to replace me, why didn't they replace me with a Muslim? What happens to this?
My sincere apologies for the earlier error. The Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission Chief Executive Officer is Marjan Hussein Marjan. Now that brings us to the end of the first part of the show. We're going to go on a short break, but we're coming back with a review of today's Friday Bulletin.
Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation. Verse of the day.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
والذين إذا أنفقوا لم يسرفوا ولم يقتروا وكان بين ذلك قواما. والذين لا يدعون مع الله إلها آخر ولا يقتلون النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق ولا يزنون ومن يفعل ذلك يلقى أثاما.
On the next episode.
Wewe ni dai umeajiriwa msikitini hauswalishi, wewe ni muadhin hauadhini haufundishi madrasa uko shughuli zako, kisha unasema mimi naogopa Mwenyezi Mungu bwana siogopi komiti. La Sheikh, wale ndio masuul na wanaweza kukufuta. Na ukishafuta utaenda kuzunguka, wale ni wanafiki wale, hakuna kitu wanajua. Wewe ndio ulichezea kazi. Kuna baadhi ya maduati uchezea kazi zao Sheikh. Wewe ni imamu wa msikiti, kila wakati wasafiri, kila wakati unsafiri. Msikiti hakuna mtu, wewe ndio msimamizi, wewe ndio macho, unless ni dharura, si kila wakati Sheikh.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. يا أيها الذين آمنوا إذا نودي للصلاة من يوم الجمعة فاسعوا إلى ذكر الله وذروا البيع ذلكم خير لكم إن كنتم تعلمون.
Enyi mlioamini, munapoitwa kuhudhuria swala ya Ijumaa, fanyeni haraka kuikimbilia, muache biashara zenu, hilo ni bora ikiwa mwelewa.
Isikilizeni kwa umakinifu khutba ya Ijumaa
ili uzidi kujenga imani yako na kupata faida nyingi ya siku hii.
Coming to you every Friday from Jamia Mosque, Nairobi.
Live on Horizon TV.
Kuna faida gani twapata tukimjua Mtume sallallahu alayhi wasallam,
nabii mwenye ushawishi mkubwa duniani?
Tukizikwa tukitiwa kaburini tutaulizwa haya maswali matatu: man rabbuk, ma dinuk, man nabiyuk.
Sheikh Jamaluddin anakupa simulizi.
Huwezi kumpenda mtu usiyemjua
na kutambua sunna zake,
lakini ukimjua na ukimtambua Mtume Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, mapenzi yako yatazidi.
Ufahamu Rasulullah, familia na maswahaba wake. Tazama sira ya Mtume kila Jumatatu saa 1 jioni kwenye Horizon TV.
قال تعالى في محكم تنزيله بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم.
Ninasaha kutoka pwani.
هذا الدين قال الله قال الرسول قال الصحابة هم أولو العرفان. انتهى.
Ili kuongoza kwenye njia iliyonyoka.
Sikizeni hadithi hii ya Mtume alayhi salatu wasalam. Hakuna atakayeweza kumfungia mtu mlango ambaye Mwenyezi Mungu aliyemfungulia.
Kuimarisha imani yako.
Thabbit qulubana ala dinik wa ala ta'atik.
Ungana na mashekhi wetu kutoka pwani kwenye mimbar.
Mimbar zinamwakilisha Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam.
Jumamosi na wakati saa 3 usiku katika Horizon TV, runinga uipendayo. Ni kitabu chenye uongofu kilichoteremshwa kwa mpangilio maalum.
Sura ikiitwa Madania inamaanisha iliteremshwa Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam alipokuwa kwa Madina.
Kila sura imepewa jina rasmi na sababu zake za kimsingi.
Inaitwa Suratun Nisa'il Kubra, sura ya wanawake kubwa.
Fahamu sababu za kuteremshwa Qur'an na matukio ya kipekee katika utaratibu huu.
Asema Mwenyezi Mungu wa Nuha, nakumbukeni kisa cha Nuh, tumpomlingania kabla, tukamjibu yale mambo aliyoyaomba, tukawa ni wenye kumwokoa yeye na ahli yake.
Ungana na Profesa Muhammad Salim Badamana katika malengo ya Qur'an, kila siku ya Jumapili saa 11 kamili jioni katika Horizon TV. La kutafakari.
Ni haramu kumwoa mwanamke ambaye ni mushrika, ni haramu. Kadhalika ni haramu kumwozesha binti yako Muislamu mwanamume ambaye ni mushrik. Na leo suala hili watu wanalifanyia tasahul. Utamkuta Muislamu au binti wa Kiislamu ameolewa na baniani, au ameolewa na Myahudi, au ameolewa na Mnasara kwa sababu ya masalih dunyawia, na wengine huolewa na Mashia.
La kutafakari. La kutafakari.
Yoyote ambaye anaitarajia kukutana na Mola wake ili kwenda kulipa mema ya aliyoyafanya, faman kana yarju liqa'a rabbi falyamal amalan salihan, atende matendo mema. Matendo mema kila wakati tukariri, lazima turegelee hapo. Matendo mema ni yale uliyofanya kwa ajili ya Allah, na yale uliyoyafanya yakiwafikiana na mafundisho ya Mtume sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Ikiwa umefanya amali, umefanya ibada lillah, lakini amali ile hujaifanya namna alivyosomesha Mtume, hiyo si amali njema. Na ikiwa umefanya amal kama alivyofundisha Mtume lakini haukuifanya lillahi, fahadha laysa min al-a'mali as-salihah, hiyo si katika amali njema. Kwa hivyo Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala atuhimiza, atuamrisha falyamal amalan saliha, afanye amali njema.
La kutafakari. Horizon TV, the beacon for the nation.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much for staying with us here on Horizon TV. And we're back with a review of today's Friday Bulletin. Joining me in studio is Mr. Musa Mwale. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
The director of the Maslaha Mediation Center. And also joining me in studio is Gamal Jamil, the senior editor of the Friday Bulletin, the social media manager of Jamia Mosque. Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Thank you so much for both of you being my guests today. And obviously today there's big news that's been going around. We are hosting Mufti Menk in a couple of hours, inshallah, at Jamia Mosque. And I think everyone's excited, everyone's, looking forward to his visit. He's a very well-renowned scholar. So I think maybe we can start off the conversation today. I see it's on the front page of today's Friday Bulletin. So Mr. Musa, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Thank you so much, and once again, welcome our viewers. Well, we are all excited to have Mufti Menk. Mufti Menk is not only a scholar, but he's also a motivational speaker, because he's very motivational in his darsas and his speeches. And he's also quite a balanced scholar, that he doesn't, according to me, because I'm one of his fan, he doesn't take the extremes, and that makes it makes Islam very easy to follow. Other than people who take either one extreme or the other extreme, then it poses a challenge to people, because they either this way or that way. So I follow him daily. And I would love to once again meet him. We've met him a few times here, and he's much welcome.
Much welcome.
Yes.
What about you, Gamal? I know that you've been amongst the people who've been planning for this visit. Alhamdulillah. What do you have to say about Mufti Menk's visit today to Jamia Mosque?
I think it's a historical visit, because it's the first time he's coming to Jamia Mosque, and the preparations are underway up to now. We are very excited to host such a scholar and a motivational speaker.
Yeah.
And as my colleague here said, he's always balanced. He doesn't go to extremes. Even non-Muslims would like to hear from him today. So we all look forward to host the Sheikh today, inshallah.
Yes, inshallah. And I know you've been controlling the social media. What has been the the reception from obviously Muslims and non-Muslims?
People are excited, very excited. Even the non-Muslims are like, they want to watch Mufti.
Yes.
They even requested at some point to have a section of them to come and sit and just listen to the Sheikh. So people are very excited. So in short, let's hope all go well, inshallah.
Yes.
Because I know the mosque today will be full capacity.
What's your advice to anyone who's planning to come for the khutbah?
I think people should carpool or use public means when coming to Jamia, because there'll be no parking around the mosque. And to also listen to our security guards and volunteers and the masjid keepers, so that for ease of movement and controlling the crowd.
Sheikh, what would you say obviously to the Muslims who are planning to come and listen? What would you tell them, piece of advice obviously when you come to the masjid and you're planning to listen to Mufti Meng today?
Yeah, well, I think one thing is we all excited, and people get overexcited, and everyone wants to, and especially at this moment, to take photos in the masjid. Some of them would want to struggle to take selfies, which is, for me, it's quite unnecessary. I think people come to listen so that they benefit.
It's true.
Not to want to pose with pictures with Sheikh. It's what he will share with us, and it's what we will take from him that will really count at the end of the day.
Yes.
So people, as my younger brother here says, people should be very disciplined, very orderly. Of course, there are screens. Jamia will put up those screens. You don't have to struggle to sit at the front or to sit in the main prayer hall, but you can always view him from the screens that will be there. I'm sure even outside, I don't know whether there are any screens.
Oh, there are just screens inside the mosque.
Yeah. So we will be able to see. If you are very far, you shouldn't struggle so much, because you can always view this speech on Horizon, or the khutbahs on Horizon. It's going to be live.
Yeah, on YouTube.
On YouTube, it's going to be live. So, well, we welcome everybody, but let's be orderly and disciplined, inshallah.
Yes. And we're also seeing that he's not just coming to Jamia Mosque. We're seeing after the khutbah today on Friday at Jamia Mosque, he's going to be having a lecture after Maghrib at Parklands Masjid.
Yes.
And then obviously tomorrow, inshallah, he's going to be at Masjid Al-Huda, and that is before Dhuhr. And later again after Maghrib, he's going to be at Masjid Rahma in Hallingham. And then concluding his visit on February 4th, he'll have a final lecture at Adam's Masjid along Gong Road. And this is just for anyone who wants to, probably will not be able to come to Jamia Mosque. Just a reminder that after Maghrib Salah, today he's going to be at Parklands Masjid. Tomorrow, inshallah, before Dhuhr, he's going to be at Masjid Al-Huda. And after Maghrib again, he's going to be at Hallingham Masjid, Masjid Rahma in Hallingham. And following his final, his final lecture, it's going to happen on Sunday at Adam's Masjid in Gong Road. So for anyone who's not able, obviously, to come to Jamia Mosque today, those are the masjids that Mufti Ismail Meng will be at. Now, also looking on the front page of today's Friday Bulletin, a story that has caused a lot of anger, within the Muslim, not just the Muslim community, but Kenyans. This was the Palestinian march that was obviously disrupted by obviously illegal force by the police force. And this is something we've seen time and time again, that Kenyans have a right obviously to assemble, but it turns violent just because of the police officers. And I know this is something you would love to add on. So what do you take, Mr. Musa?
Well, it's quite sad that the police force, the police service has actually refused to come from police force, or to change from police force to service. We know that it's a fact that they're ill-trained,
yes,
irrespective of having very highly educated police officers among the ranks, but they still, their basic training is really, they're really ill-prepared to have a relationship with the community. And they keep on blaming the community, because sometimes it happens that a police officer is hurt during the course of his duty, and people don't really sympathize, or people don't pity them, because they are not in touch with the community. The police looks like they're the enemy of the community. And that's why whenever you're going to meet the police officer in front of you or ahead of you, you duck. You don't want to meet them, because anytime they treat you as a suspect, they treat you as an offender, and this is what is happening. Unfortunately, even with the new leadership in place, we know that the new leadership is not so keen on the reforms. Quite a number of people within the leadership never fought for this country, even during the second liberation, and therefore they don't understand the struggle other people are going through, fighting for their rights. And also, that's why whenever Kenyans go to the street to claim certain rights, either orders will be issued, or the police on their own will take into their own hands and intimidate and aim and, you know, violently disrupt the peaceful assembly that is guaranteed by the Constitution. So it's quite sad that the police service has continued to be a police force.
Yes.
Yes.
And Gamal, being, you know, obviously an editor for the senior editor for the Friday Bulletin, these are some of the stories that we've seen time and time again on the Friday Bulletin.
Yes.
It's very important that, you know, you're bringing such stories to the public. What do you have to say, especially with this being a, you know, something that keeps on recurring?
I think it's a sad incident, and it's not the first time, I guess. There's a time in Cheche, they arrested some activists who are trying to protest what's going on in Palestine. And I don't know why our government is not speaking up on this issue. Like, it's not coming out clearly, condemning the Israeli forces. And using of force during such peaceful processes is unacceptable.
Yes.
And I think sometimes this is like double standards. Like last week there was some protest here, a very huge march of End Femicide. There were no police force. In fact, the police were escorting the protesters peacefully up to Jivanji. I don't know why people protesting against the brutal killings of children in Gaza and families. I don't know why the police are using force to disperse the protesters and sometimes even arrest them. I think it's double standards.
Yes, and Mr. Musa, he's mentioned a very good point where we've seen a recent march against femicide cases in the country, and we've seen that the march has clearly painted a picture, and it said Kenyans themselves are very peaceful when they're organized, and it's always the police that, you know, turns the protest to be something violent. What do you have to say about this?
It's quite true. Actually, most I'm a trained person in mass action, and we train people in mass action. And mass action is a way of letting the world know the grievances. So most of the time, they're quite peaceful until they're infiltrated by either people with ill intention, and most of the time they're the police officers. The police officers, from time immemorial, they used to actually also don the attire of the demonstrators, and then while they're inside there, they will start throwing stones at their fellow police officers. So they provoke them, and these police officers think that it's the demonstrators. So that's one. But two, as I said, it's quite unfortunate that the police has never changed in this country. It still has that colonial mentality, you know, of being against the Mwananchi. And also, it's a policy, I think, because we know that, and we are not shy to say that the president himself really supports Israel and the brutality. And he came out very clear. And maybe these police are carrying out orders because they know they are going to be in favor of the leadership. So we shouldn't be shy to say it's unfortunate that our leadership cannot see the brutality that is being meted against innocent people, against people who are fighting for their right, and it goes ahead to support them to continue with that. Where we don't know whether it's whether there are any financial gains or any other political gains, we don't know. But an ill is an ill. A mistake is a mistake. Whether it's done, and you know in Islam we say, even if it's your own brother who has committed something awful, then justice has to take course. It doesn't matter what benefits you derive from that, leave alone the kinship that you have with someone. So I think the government should come out strong, as my brother has said, and either say where we are quite in support of the brutality of Israel, and therefore let the Muslim world, because I know our president has been trooping to the to the Gulf, you know, asking for support and opportunities for our young people. Let the Muslim world know that this government does not support the cause of other Muslims. Yeah, so that we know what we do, rather than we should not sugarcoat things that we say as they are, unfortunately, because that is the fact. Yes.
And now, obviously, we're on the second page of today's Friday Bulletin. The two stories that I'd love us to touch on, but just to remind our viewers, the Jamia Zonal Quran competition kicks off. Maybe Gamal could tell us a little bit more about that.
The Jamia Quran competition is in preparation of the annual Jamia Quran competition that is usually held at Jamia Mosque. This time is quite different. They have gone out to different zones and even in some counties, of which we're looking for the best reciters who will come to compete at the Jamia Quran competition during the month of Ramadan, inshallah.
And also on the second page of the Friday Bulletin, we're seeing now the Public Service Commission has unveiled significant ethnic imbalances in government appointments. And it's something that we've had at times, you know, focused on some of the stories that we've seen, not just in the in the public service, but in different organizations. Mr. Musa, maybe you could tell us the importance of obviously having, you know, diversity in different organizations, the Public Service Commission.
Yeah, actually, diversity increases production, and therefore, even in your own personal business, you are not going to just employ all your kin. You will have to mix them up with people from outside and people from different backgrounds and communities. And that's why you see some businesses thrive, because they don't really depend on certain groups. For us Muslims, we've been through this throughout. We've been discriminated against, we've been sidelined, but now it's good that other communities are now feeling it. Other communities are feeling what Muslims have been feeling throughout. So this is good when it comes out like this, but it's unfortunate for a government. If the government wants to prosper, if it wants to move ahead, let there be balance, let there be representation, because we all pay taxes regardless of the communities we come from.
Yes.
We all have the interest of the country at heart. We all contribute to the development of the country. So we should be served equally. We should have the Ogeks, the Turkanas, you know, the Rendiles, also serving in crucial positions, rather than being sidelined.
Very, very true.
Yeah.
Maybe Gamal, you would love to add on anything when it comes to obviously inclusivity.
I'll just echo the sentiments of my colleague here. And Elder, I think having inclusive workforce will increase the productivity, and it also breaks the, what should I say, like the mtu wetu syndrome. In the government.
We're also seeing on the same page that the government orders tax-free clearance on dates to support Muslims, and this is a move obviously ushering the holy month of Ramadan, and we've seen the government has done this every single Ramadan. There was a little bit of delay, as you was telling me, Gamal, last Ramadan. So what does this have to say? Is there anything else the government could do to ease, you know, the price of commodities? We know the high cost of living that people are going through. Ramadan, things are going to be very expensive. What would you say when it comes to obviously elevating that for people?
First, I would like to commend the government for declaring this tax-free for duty on dates. Last Ramadan, as I said earlier, it was delayed, and even some people went deep in their pockets to pay for the duty for the dates. But this time I've seen they have gone a step ahead and done it early enough. For the issue like what should they do next, I think the cost of living is unbearable, and Ramadan is fast approaching. Some people cannot even afford to put a meal on the table. So I can imagine during the month of Ramadan how the situation will be. So maybe if someone somewhere is listening to us right now, maybe they should ease the cost of living and bring at least the commodities of some food prices down, the basic commodities, so that the Muslims can enjoy the month of Ramadan and at least put a meal on the table.
Mr. Musa, what would you have to say about this?
Well, of course, I would love to also laud the government for this move. And this has happened before. Unfortunately, while the policy is normally put in place and it means well, the people who implement those policies, like now the customs officers, these delays are as a result of the bureaucracy within the customs, within the clearance. So some of them, either the communication has not reached them, or they just become adamant. And they frustrate Muslims to the extent that you have dates being released a week or a few days to the end of Ramadan. So again, they end up serving not the actual purpose that they were supposed to serve. So I think this communication should be, it has come early, but the people who are now, us as Muslims who are intending to import these dates, should start having their paperwork done early enough, so that come the first week of the Ramadan, if there are any dates or anything that has been imported for the sake of Ramadan and has had that waiver, is quickly cleared for the purpose of Ramadan. And maybe also to just urge, especially the security arms of the government, is to be easy on people who will be Muslims who will be going for their Taraweeh prayers, because it happens that people get arrested, and therefore it stops them from practicing or at least honoring that call for that kind of ibadah. No?
And obviously that story brings us to the end of the discussion because of time, but we still have a little time to touch on any topic you would feel we would need to tackle. Yes,
the CIPK false appointment of the Social Health Authority, and the same thing, inclusive. Let us be inclusive, let the government be inclusive in the appointment, and consider that Muslims also form a part of this country, and they play a very big role in terms of the economy. You know, maybe when it comes to the economy, maybe Muslims even contribute 50% or in terms of this country, but we are not seeing ourselves being represented in a crucial position. So I want to congratulate CIPK for that. And I think for me that is it.
Yes. What about you, Gamal? I know you're looking at page 6. There's a story you've missed.
I want to commend Africa Education and Development Trust in conjunction with the Nairobi Area Muslim Student Association for conducting career guidance for Form 4 leavers. I think it's a good thing, because most of the Form 4's leavers usually don't know what next after Form 4.
Yes.
So I think such workshop is much needed to guide our brothers and sisters on how to steer their career.
Very, very true. And I bet that obviously, you know, since we have you here, Gamal, the Friday Bulletin has been a bulletin that has run for more than 20 years, if I may say, right?
True.
And the stories inside have obviously echoed many plights of different Muslims from across the country.
True.
And obviously stories from outside the country as well. And alhamdulillah, we've been able to review the Friday Bulletin here at in the Muslim Insight every single Friday. And Mr. Musa, I know that we've been doing this for a while now with you, and I know that we've talked of the importance of the Friday Bulletin. Maybe there's something you would love to say, maybe some stories that you would love, obviously, the Friday Bulletin to take on.
Yeah, thank you so much. Now that we have Brother Gamal, the editor here, we would love, and I think Muslims would love to see other news that impact on the Muslim.
Yes.
Especially like right now, the March talked about the taxes.
Yes.
The impact on Muslims, and maybe you might want to consider looking at the impact of let's say the housing levy, let's say the social health fund, how it impacts on Muslims, so that we can discuss that and Muslims can get to know. We might not, because this is a Friday Bulletin, we might not want to go like other news bulletins or newspapers, you know, conventional things, but at least things that directly touch on the community should also be brought out, inshallah.
Very, very true. I think Gamal has received...
Well noted.
Yes, well noted. Alhamdulillah, that brings us to the end of the show. Alhamdulillah. You know, just to wrap it up, I feel like I am giving my last outro. I know for anyone who's listening, they've been wondering what's wrong with my voice. I am a little bit unwell, but alhamdulillah, I'm okay. And obviously, giving my last outro, alhamdulillah, today marks the last day for me here at the Muslim Insight, and it is with a heart full of gratitude that I bid farewell to you all. Today marks the closing chapter of a beautiful journey we embarked on together, a journey of news, stories and insights that have shaped our understanding of the world and the Muslim community. When I first stepped into the role of the anchor for the Muslim Insight, I never could have imagined the depth of connection we would forge. As we close the curtains on this chapter of my life as a news reporter and an anchor, I want to express my deepest appreciation to each and every one of you, my dear viewers. Your support, your feedback and the engagement we've had has been the driving force behind the success of this show. It has been an honor and a privilege to be your guide through the news that shaped our lives. To the incredible team behind the scenes, the dedicated crew and the visionary leaders of this station, I extend my deepest gratitude. Your unwavering support has been the backbone of our success. My producer, Arvin Shihemi, my Madam Director, Maria Musa, from Professor Otueo and Mustafa Kasim, to Muhammad Ali and Muhammad Ibrahim, Salma Salim, and to the incredible transmission team, Saida Abud Hassan and Gitonga, and now to the graphics team that isn't to be forgotten, from Troy to Salim, and last but not least, the Friday Bulletin team from Gamal, Abushari and Hassan. And obviously, Mr. Musa, you were the first person that I had on my show. I don't know if you can remember our first episode.
Yes,
and you're the person that I had on my last episode. Thank you so much for constantly coming, reviewing the Friday Bulletin with me, alhamdulillah, always setting aside your Friday morning, I know you'd be somewhere else, you'd be busy with something else, but alhamdulillah, you've always ensured that you've been here on time, you've reviewed the bulletin, we've had discussions, alhamdulillah, discussions that hopefully have changed the views of, obviously, the viewers. And alhamdulillah to Mr. Abdul Wahab for always ensuring that we don't start the show without a sign language interpreter in his absence. Thank you to Mariam Jamaluddin for constantly being here on time to obviously be our sign language interpreter. To Ilhan Noor, I know she's not around, but she was also our previous sign language interpreter. Thank you to every single person at Horizon TV. From the technical department, I can see Muhammad Otueo behind the camera, Professor Otueo. Thank you so much for making, I have a sore throat. I started my journey at Horizon TV as a technical operator and intern, and it is Mohammed Atweyo who took me in, taught me from the ground, alhamdulillah, to Ibra. I know he's in the control room, or then he can hear us. Thank you so much to Ibtisam for always giving me advice as obviously as a reporter and also as a TV host. I know she does her Diraya Wanamke every Sunday, and every Wednesday she does her show for Tunu Ya Familia. Thank you so much to the guests that I've had over the years, to Nuru, you know, our chairman of happiness. I don't know if she's going to watch with this, but thank you so much. And obviously to the interns we've had, I cannot, you know, express my sincere gratitude more than this. For a lot of you, you think that being in front of the camera is the hard job. The hard job happens behind the camera. To our reporters for the Muslim Insight, Abdurrahman, Gaddafi, Yasin, to Mariam, and to Mustafa Kasim, thank you so much for going out of your way to always bring us stories, you know. To our reporter who also is in Eldoret, who brings us stories from Eldoret, thank you so much for that. And I think that brings me to the end of my farewell. Until we meet again, ma'as salam.